You know what? I was really, really sad that I I got really mad at the end of this. And I think I'm going to actually end up not liking somebody that I really been riding for this whole time. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 9, episode 13. Like I said, I'm just sad that it looks like I'm getting ready to not be liking somebody that I really was liking all this time. This episode was boring. Now let's not even, start right off with that, Mona. This was boring. This was really boring. Um, they're still in Costa Rica. I couldn't imagine that they would have a boring episode in Costa Rica, but whatever. First things first, they went out. They were on a bus ride. On the bus ride, they were on their way to go and do zip lining. Now, child, I couldn't even see it. I was like, no, y'all got that. Zip lining, and it was 1,000 feet up. One person wouldn't have been participating, and that's me. I'll hold your purses, coats, and cameras. Because I'm not about to zip my fat ass down no line, no 1,000 feet up. Period. It's not happening. But anyway, that's what they were doing. On the bus ride there, Yandy and Cambella basically decided we're going to just kind of dead the drama. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We're here. Ain't no need to keep going back and forth and all of that. I was like, well, thank God, because I don't want to hear it. I mean, it is what it is. It's ugly, but to keep revisiting it, it ain't gonna get no better. Not right now. Anyway, just leave it alone. So that's what they decided to do. After that, we seen a scene with Mano and Maggie, and they actually talked out all their problems. It was really nice. They literally talked all the problems out. He basically said, like he didn't think she was really serious or whatever. And she's like, I'm serious, period, point blank. And he got it. He got it. So it was cool. It wasn't a bad scene at all. It wasn't bad. It was cool. They worked it out. Then I get to Sin and Joe. Sin and Joe just don't want to be happy. They want to argue. But what I noticed, Sin, you got some stuff with you. You got some stuff with you. I think you spent, and there's a name that came up this episode, Erica Mena. Yeah. You spent too much time with Erica, Sin. And some of that bullshit ass ways rubbed off on you. And you got some bullshit with you. You really, really do. You really, really do. And Joe really be putting up with a lot with Sin. I'm like, But anyway, there was some stuff that took place off camera at night, where basically it sounds like they were down at the pool or whatever, and at the bar area, and she was acting a bit slutty, is what I gathered from it. And he wasn't happy, so they got to arguing, and they wasn't really speaking. So the next day they were at lunch, and they not really talking to each other, and everybody's talking, and Sin's like throwing subliminals at Joe, and I'm like, are you serious? Y'all are a couple, and you throwing subliminals across the table at him? I was like, that's really tacky and out of order, but that's what she was doing. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So that went on for a little bit. Then Erica Mena's name came up. And I immediately looked at Juju. And that's when Juju made it very clear. She says, no, damn all that you heard. Me and Safari we really are just friends. We are friends. Nothing more, nothing less. So I don't care nothing about Erica Mena, and nothing that he's doing with Erica Mena. It's not none of my issue. I'm looking, they kept flashing the camera back at Sin, and I'm saying, So what y'all trying to tell us? Said you be feeling some kind of way about Erica? You ain't over that? And that's what I picked up. I picked up that Sin ain't really over it. And I was like, does she feel some kind of way just at the mention of her name? I'm like, wow. I mean, she was in it like that when they were at it. She was in it like that. But I thought that she had moved on. But it doesn't seem like it. Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think. It, to me, at that table, I was questioning Sin. I said, is she really bothered by the fact that Safari is actually mentioning Erica? Talking about knocking her up and being with her and all this. You seem bothered. But okay. So that was that. Um, they went on. Juju and Safari actually talked. They really got to get down to the bottom of their problems, and they worked it out and they smoothed it out and got some understanding. This is what works. If we're going to be friends, I'm this type of friend and I need to be handled this type of way or it's not going to work for me. Flat out, period. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Then Sin and Kimbella were actually talking, and I started listening to Sin, and I figured out Sin is very selfish. She's very selfish when it comes to this relationship with her and Joe Budden. And she wants everything her way, and everything has got to be about her, and it's got to be centered around her as pertains to Joe. And it just came across very one-sided. I was like, wow. Then they show him talking to Mano down on the beach, and he's basically saying how he is actually aware of the one-sidedness of it all, and it's starting to wear on him, starting to get on his nerves. Some of her behaviors are inappropriate, and he ain't really for it. So I'm like, okay, so I guess she was being in men's face and doing some things she just ain't had no business doing, is what I kind of gathered from it. I was like, okay. And, she was like, I'm like 27 and I want to act like a 27-year-old child. Acting slutty is never good at any age. And we didn't get to see it, but from what I'm gathering, it sounded like you was acting a little slutty, sweetie. And ain't nobody going for that. That's disrespectful as hell. And especially you get a man that's more mature. He ain't trying to have you disrespect him in front of no men. That's ridiculous. Whatever. So then they go, and this is where it actually got interesting because the rest of this was really pretty boring. They had this therapeutic workout on the beach. They were all sitting out. Now I don't mean a workout, but like a workout. They all were going to sit down, talk out their problems and all this. And this one shit went left for me. And as much as I told Joe, I like Joe. I think Joe just cute. And Joe Button made me so fucking angry. So angry. Him and Sin. Like, to the point where I'm telling y'all now, like, the way it was going, I don't care if I don't see Sin and Joe anymore on the show. I felt it so out of order. Joe starts going off, just like going off on Safari. And it's all about, he says, he asked Safari, are you bringing Erica Mena on a trip? He said no. And then he switched his plans, and Erica Mena ended up being there. They ain't ran into Erica Mena. They ain't seen Erica Mena. He's kept Erica Mena away from the cameras, away from the group. And they trolling on her Instagram and sees that she's in Costa Rica. And now he's going off. And they went, and I mean, he was taking it all into the fact that you've been to my house and I've been to your house, and I feel like it was an attack on my family, and for you to be bringing this girl here, and she's my woman's ex. Joe, you came across sounding very insecure. Do you think that Erica Mena could take your woman? Is that what the problem is? And I'm looking at your woman, and I think it's probably true. It's probably some validity to your insecurity, but you insecure, boo. You insecure. You going off on Safari. You don't need to be going off on Safari. You need to be going off on old Sin. Because that's between you and Sin. You done laid up and had a baby with her and moved in with her and everything like that. Y'all living together. And if y'all feel like Erica Mena could come through and shake that up, your problem's not with Safari. Your problem's with Sin. And I just didn't like it. And the way Joe went so from here to here, and then it felt like bullying. And you were only doing it, in my opinion, because it was Safari. Because Safari not about that life. Safari's not the loud, confrontational dude. Like, you would have never had that same conversation with Mano. You even threatened him. Talk about you'll put his face in the sand and all this. I mean, really just emasculated him on that beach. And Safari's like, you know what he said? You don't think you owe us an apology? You're really just going front on him in front of everybody. And Safari just wouldn't give him no play. He was like, no, I don't really feel that. First, he didn't even know what he's talking about. And I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, it just came across as bullying, and I didn't like it. And it put a very bad taste in my mouth. And as much as I was really liking Joe, he just turned me off. My off switch was like, he turned me all the way off. And then Sen's over there like, yeah, see, this is the Joe that I fell in love with because you simple. Because you simple. And that Joe that's acting stupid like this and insecure, he gonna do that to you in front of people one day, and you ain't gonna like it, bitch. You ain't gonna like it, because if he's insecure and he cut up like this, he gonna get you one day, and you gonna be feeling just like Safari was feeling. It was very unnecessary to me. And like I said, if it had been someone else, he wouldn't talk to him like that. He wouldn't talk to Joel's like that. He wouldn't talk to Mendices like that. He wouldn't have talked to Man. He definitely wouldn't have talked to Mano like that. His ass probably ended up out there in that damn water. I said, I didn't like that at all. I felt like it was bullying, and I felt like it was done like that truly because it was Safari. But the biggest portion of it is that you looked really silly and insecure. You really feel threatened by Erica Mena. I said, no, you don't need to give her no ring. Y'all got problems. All right, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But that's really all I got out of that episode. The episode, you see, this review is short because the episode was dry up until that point, and I was so mad when I got to this. And I was like, oh, wow, y'all done turned me against Joe. Damn. Well, Joe turned me against Joe. Joe and Sin. But they can go. I don't care if we'll see no more of them. I got really mad with them. I was like, oh, they rubbed me wrong. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all next week. All right. Later.